So what do you do when you go to do a workout and you're still sore from your previous workout? You don't want to do the same exercises again the same way because you're building up more soreness. You might be not able to push the same weight. You've just put that same stress in the muscle in the same way. So one option you can do is, instead of working out the same way twice, do a slight variation on that exercise to hit the muscles in a different way. Now, what does that do for you? It still is building that muscle, but instead of doubling down on that stressed part of the muscle, you can shift what part of that muscle is working a little bit to still get an effective workout where you're still building that muscle without putting extra stress and breaking down that muscle where it's weakest. So what we're going to do today is change up some of these exercises in a slight way to put emphasis on different muscles to get a good workout, even and avoid sore parts of the muscle where we're not building up fatigue in that muscle. So if you're new here, we're doing a follow along workout. I would love for you to join me. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat and we'll go through a follow along workout. We're working the full body today, doing two exercises for upper body and 2 exercises for lower body. So we're going to start with a bench exercise. So this is going to be a variation on a bench press, but we're going to do a closed grip bench press. So instead of my elbows being flared out like this, where I'm going to hit more of that chest, I'm instead going to tuck my elbows in tight to my rib cage. Now what that does is it emphasizes the triceps, the muscles in the back of my arm, as I bend down. And as I bend down, I'm going to try and keep my elbows in instead of flared out. I want to keep those elbows tucked in. And then I'm going to bring my hands slightly up towards my collarbones. So I'm emphasizing a bit more of that tricep by bending that elbow. So really trying to bend that elbow, keep those elbows tight into your rib cage. You should feel this some in the chest, but you should really feel this in the back of your arms much more. We're emphasizing a tricep part of this movement a bit more. Now, you might need to drop the weight a little bit on this exercise. You might not be able to do quite as heavy of a dumbbell. That is okay, because we're emphasizing a smaller muscle. The chest is a much larger muscle than the tricep. So I'm doing about 10 of these, and then I'm going to move to a heavier weight for a working set. So that was our warm up. We want to do that start with a lighter weight and work your way up. I'm going to move this out of the way for a moment. So the other exercise we're going to do is a row. And this is going to work the muscles in the upper back. So we're working the lats and these muscles in here along with some of the bicep. Now, what we're going to do is do a variation on this. So instead of doing like this, where I'm bent over, pulling up to the back with my thumbs pointed up, I'm gonna try and point my thumbs in. So leaning forward, and you're going to pull out to the sides. Now this is emphasizing a bit more of the muscles around the shoulder blade. So we're emphasizing more of that upper back around the shoulder blade as we're doing this. Now when I'm hinging, I don't want to bend my back. I want to let my hands, my hips drive back and let my hands hang straight down. So I'm really not hurting my low back as I do this. So if you feel like it's hard to get into that position, you can always do this one arm at a time. Put your hand on the wall. Still though, thumb pointed in towards the middle, pulling up to your rib cage. And that's our standing row or a bent over row but doing more of the upper back row. We're working all these muscles between the shoulder blades. So it's de-emphasizing a little bit of the lats to add a little bit to those traps, rhomboids, and retractors of the shoulder blade. And because we're working the muscle in a slightly different way, we can change how we did it from on Monday's workout, or if you're still sore from that workout, then this will let you still continue on building that muscle without becoming so sore you might be risking more injury. So if you like these live streams and want to see more, I host them at 11 a.m. Pacific time. That was our warm-up. We're going to jump right into our workout. So going back to a bench, I'm gonna move this just a little bit forward so I don't have to move it between sets. So go into a heavier weight. You wanna go to where it's challenging, but not completely overwhelming. So I'm gonna have my hands right over the top of my shoulders. It's okay for the dumbbells to come a little closer together with this. They shouldn't be all the way touching, probably, but the important thing is your elbow position is right up against your rib cage. From here, I'm gonna bend my elbows, coming in towards the middle, tap my chest, and then come back up. If you want to, you can have your hands like this and rotate up. That's fine too. I find it's a little easier on my wrists to hold it like this. So it's a slight angle to it. Really trying to bend that elbow up though. So my hands come up a little bit towards my shoulders, where I really feel that in the back of my arm. It's a little bit more like a skull crusher to do it this way. Not a skull crusher, but more like that, where your hands are drifting a little higher than your elbows. And relax. And switching to a row. Bending at the hips, hands hang straight down with their thumbs pointed together, pulling up to your chest. So head looks up a little bit, helps keep your back straight as you do that, pulling up to the back. Really trying to bend that elbow. And relax. So the exact rep number doesn't matter too much. The goal though is to get above 5 and below 30. So if you can't get 5 reps, try a lighter dumbbell. If you can get more than 30 reps, try a heavier dumbbell. But really, anywhere in there is fine. I'd aim for somewhere around 10. That's a pretty good sweet spot between the two, and it also gets through the workout much faster. 30 reps per set takes a long time. So with this workout, we're going to be doing 3 sets of these, alternating back and forth. That way we can get through the workout faster. So going back to close grip press, elbows tight into your sides, bending your elbow down, tap your chest and come back up. Trying to really keep those elbows tucked in. The closer the elbows are to your rib cage, the more that tricep is going to be emphasized. We don't want to come in across, because then I'm actually flaring out at the shoulder again, which means the chest is more involved. So it's straight in line with the elbow, so my elbow doesn't flare out at all, or it tries to really limit the flaring of that elbow. And going till you feel that fatigue in your arms. And relax. And going into set number 2, doing a horizontal row, horizontal bent over row. So hinging from the hips, letting your arms hang down, pulling up to your chest, and then back down. If you look up, it will help you keep your back straight. I'm going up and pinching my shoulder blades together as I do that. And relax. So that was set number 2. We're going to do 3 sets of each of these exercises. This is combining shoulders, upper back, and arms all in one. Got one more set to do. Now, if you're just joining us, we're doing a full body workout for arms and legs today. Gonna get everything done in 4 exercises, or we're gonna get everything we're doing today in 4 exercises. It's most of the muscles in the upper and lower body with just those 4. All right, last set. So elbows tucked in, doing a closed grip. Really trying to bend that elbow down. Keep the hands a little higher than your elbow. Like I said, it's a little bit of a skull crusher movement. Just an inch or 2 above your elbows. So my hands jerked a little bit up. Last one. And relax. And from here, doing a bent over horizontal row. Now it's horizontal because instead of my hands like this, I'm more of a briefcase style. I'm putting my thumbs together and that emphasizes more of the muscles between my shoulder blades. So pulling up to the back, trying to go for at least 5 reps. And relax. All right, so that was our upper body exercises. Now we're gonna jump right into some lower body exercises. So last time we did squats where we were doing like this. Now if you're still sore from the squats, we're going to do today we're going to do instead of that. Today we're going to do a lunge instead of squats. So we're still working these quad muscles, still working the hamstrings and glutes, but in a slightly different way. Excuse me a moment. So for a lunge, what we're going to do is we're going to be working the front muscle of the thigh right in here, these quads. So you're going to step forward, kneel down, come back up. And then same thing on the other side, step forward, kneel down, and come up. And that's 1. So we're gonna warm up doing that movement, and we'll add some weights as we go. You feel that right here in the front of your thigh. So we're stepping forward because that brings that knee into that flexed position where we really emphasize those quad muscles. The more the knee bends, the more those quads have to take over and stop that movement. So that's why we want to do that deep knee bend to the front. So that will really emphasize those quad muscles. So it's a little different from the squat, doing a lunge. We do a step to the front on this, step to the front, because it gets this more quad emphasis. If I was to step backwards, I'd get more glute emphasis on this movement. And then for our next exercise, we're gonna really focus heavy in the glutes. So lunges, just emphasize the quads. Now we're gonna do a hip bridge for the glutes. So to do this, using a dumbbell, you're gonna put the dumbbell right on your stomach, right where your belly button is, so it's even on both sides. From here, bring your feet shoulder width apart, and holding the dumbbell with your hands so it doesn't roll on you. You're gonna push up to the front, bridging your hips up, squeeze those glutes. Now the important thing is keep your knees apart. Don't let your knees buckle together. You wanna keep those knees at shoulder width or wider. So pushing the knees out really emphasizes that glute activation. The glutes actually externally rotate, which means they pull the knees out. So if you're internally rotated, you're deactivating those glutes. So pushing up to the front, just feel that in the back of your hips. Really trying to push your hips up rather than rather than trying to push down through your feet. It's much more about pushing those hips up and up towards the ceiling. Now I'm doing this with a slightly lighter weight, and then I'll go to a heavier weight next. So I always like to start out with a lighter dumbbell and then work my way up to a heavier dumbbell. Or to start with body weight and then move into dumbbells. So you should feel that in the back of your thigh, back of your hips. Gonna take just a quick second, catch my breath. If you ever feel like you are needing a moment between sets, that is okay to do. It's okay to take a minute between, or a couple minutes between. I know, depending on what sort of athlete, strongmen, people who compete in the world strongman competition, take a lot of time between their sets to recover because they're doing very heavy movements. It requires a lot of energy and mental fortitude and focus to do. And so that takes time to recover from and be able to work out effectively. So it's okay to go one to the next, but it's also okay to take a minute or two between sets. Let your body recover, jump back in, especially if you're just starting out. Take the time and take a break between, because that will help you preserve good technique. And good technique is what helps prevent injury. As soon as you get tired, it's so much easier for technique to break down, and that's when injuries happen. That's when people throw out their back, they hurt their shoulder, they have any number of accidents happen, and I don't want that for you. So it's important to work to your body's tempo. And if you don't know what that is too, what your body's tempo is, then going a little slower is more effective. What I mean by body's tempo is how tired you're getting, how quickly you get tired, or how quickly you recover from being tired. So everyone's a little bit different. The more you train, the more you'll figure out where you can keep on going and push through fatigue. So let's keep on going. We're gonna go into lunges. So for this, I like to grab 2 dumbbells. That way I don't have to switch the dumbbell between. So, holding them right at your sides like a suitcase, you're going to step forward, kneel down, come back up, and then same thing on the other side. And that's 1. We're gonna try for between 5 and 10 of these. You should feel that working in your quads in the front of your thigh. Now it's important to keep your knee in line with your toe. Again, don't let it buckle in towards the middle. Whoa. And that's where I'm going to stop there. And take a minute, catch your breath. We're going to go into a hip bridge next. So our goal with these is to build the primary muscles in your upper body and lower body. So I want people I think it's important to maintain strength and keep that muscle healthy. And I don't want to see people in their 30s, 40s, 50s not able to do what they want to anymore, not able to lift heavy things, not able to move around quickly and effectively. I want people to stay healthy through their whole lives. And that starts all the way through your life. You can start at 20, you can start at 80, but it's going to be easier the earlier you start. It's like investing for retirement. It'll be easier to start at 20 because you have all that compounding interest, but you can start later in life. And now is the time to start. If you haven't done it yet, now is the time. Because no matter where you are, it's always going to be easier now than it will be later. All right, grabbing a dumbbell. Gonna go into a dumbbell hip bridge. Now, I know we have some people who are younger in this audience, some people who are 60 plus in this audience. So no matter where you are, this is going to be an effective workout for you. Now, if you need to, you can do a lighter dumbbell or do this without a dumbbell at all. Whatever is challenging for you. That's what we're going for, is we want to feel challenged in the muscle, but not overwhelmed. So putting the dumbbell right at your belly button, holding it so it doesn't roll, pushing down with your feet and up with your hips. The important thing is push up with those hips and then back down. You should feel that engage in the glutes and the back of the thighs. So working that glute max muscle, keeping those knees apart. And one more. And relax. Oh man. So, something that I found for me when I'm losing calories, when I'm losing weight on a calorie deficit, is my workouts are a lot more fatiguing. There's not the calories, there's not the fuel to work out like I normally would. And I think that's something really important if you're just starting out on you're trying to lose weight, you go to the gym, you're trying to lose weight at the same time. It's gonna be harder than it normally would be. And I say that to not say don't do it. It's so good you're doing it. Just, I would temper your expectations of what you can do. Because without that, the fuel, it's gonna feel more difficult to push the same weight you normally think you can do. So I would try and adjust that difficulty down a little bit and then gradually build it up as you know you're capable of doing it. Because it would be no good to go to the gym, try something heavier, get injured, and have a setback. So it's better to start light and build up to heavier, especially when you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to work on a calorie deficit. So I've been doing this a long time, and that the hardest thing is when I'm either sleep deprived or calorie deprived. It's just the energy is not there. And being calorie deprived can also cause you to be sleep deprived. It's harder to sleep effectively. So it's important to go in with reasonable expectations into the gym if you're just starting that journey. Good for you. That's awesome that you're doing that. But just keep that in mind. Don't feel like you're failing, because you're not. You're doing everything you can, working up to your body's potential. All right. Now we're gonna go into a second set of lunges. Trying between 5 and 10 of these. So kneeling down, coming back up, trying to keep your knee in line with your toe, so don't let it buckle inwards. It's called a valgus collapse, and it can really mess up your knee. So the whole thing is we want to keep the knee pointed straight forward in the same direction as the toe. Last one. Oh, should be tiring by the end. I know for me, my left leg gives out before my right does. My left side is not quite as strong as my right side. Now, if you find that one side is much stronger than the other, it's good to do an isolation of one side. And that means instead of doing both sides together, like a squat, it would be doing one side at a time. So we're making it so the weaker leg can't rely on the stronger leg. This is the great thing about lunges is each leg has to work independently of the other. So you get an equal workout on both. So for me, my left side is not quite as strong as my right. I've had injuries in my left side. I've got Osgood-Schlatters in my left, and that's led to a little bit of reduction in strength in my left. So that's why it's good to do lunges where I'm not letting my left rely on my right leg. I have to actually build that strength up in my left. Now for bridges, if I was to do that with a bridge, then instead of having 2 feet shoulder width apart, I would have one leg over the top of the other and bridge up where I feel it more on one side. So bridging up, I squeeze that glute and back down. Now if you're feeling like one side's pushing you over, so if I bridge up and I feel like I'm dropping to one side, that means the side I'm dropping towards is a little bit weaker. So I'm twisting towards that side because it's not pushing as hard. So if that's you, I'd start with the one leg, unweighted, doing bridges, and then same thing, other side, trying to do start with the weaker side and do the same number on both sides. However many reps your weaker side can do that with your stronger side. All right, so going back to the bridge with the dumbbell. Now for this exercise, I feel like my left side is just as strong as my right. It's not the quads, it's more the glutes. So I'm gonna do this with a dumbbell, doing both sides at once. So, putting the dumbbell right at your belly button, holding with your hands so it doesn't roll anywhere. You're gonna push down, keeping your knees bridged, knees apart through the bridge. And then pushing your hips up towards the front, squeezing those glutes. Trying to go between 5 and 10 reps. Two more. the dumbbell off and sit up. I'm gonna take just a minute before going into the last set of lunges. So I know for me, my left leg in that lunge is gonna be the limiting factor. So I only do as many reps as my left leg can handle. My right leg probably could do a few more, but I'm gonna keep it even between the two sides. And that way I'm not overdeveloping a muscle imbalance as well. I'm only building up as much as both sides can handle to keep that proportional between the two sides. It's normal to have some asymmetries, but we don't want to work out asymmetrically, where it's different on one side than the other. You'll see that in some sports, like bowling tends to be more development on one side than the other. And that does happen a little bit, no matter what you do, but we're trying to make it so we're not relying on the strong side and neglecting the weak side. We're keeping them balanced between, because that's gonna lead to a better overall health and physique as well. So if you care about looks, that's great. If you care about health, it's great too. So I'd recommend doing it either way. Either way, this is what you want to focus on. So let your weak side be your guide. Especially if you're right-handed, usually means you're right-legged too. And so for some people, that also means they're right-eyed. Just as an interesting point. So that right side or left side is usually the dominant side. And it will be the stronger side usually too. Stronger, more coordinated. All right, so let's keep on going. One more set of lunges. So I'm gonna start with my left side, because that's gonna be my weaker side. And that's the one that's gonna give out first. So I'm going to start with that. I'm gonna try and get to 7. Let's try 8. 8. And 8. Yeah, my right leg definitely is the stronger leg on that one. When you're doing lunges, do you find that one side is stronger than the other? Let me know in the comments. All right, so that was working those quad muscles in the front of the thigh. Now we're gonna shift to the back, working the hips and hamstrings. Last set. Keeping those knees apart, especially on this set. It's very easy to get tired and let your knees buckle together. And relax. All right, so that was our workout for today. If you like these sort of workouts and want to see more, I host these live streams at 11 a.m. Pacific time on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So hope to see